deep within the heart of the African forest, where sunlight struggles to pierce the dense canopy and every echo may signal danger. One of nature's most intense rivalries unfolds. The clash between baboons and chimpanzees is far more than a territorial dispute. It is a relentless struggle for dominance, influence, and survival in a realm where raw strength meets sharp intelligence. Shattered screams cut through the stillness as branches sway and the jungle erupts into chaos. Baboons advance as a unified force, driven by numbers and collective aggression. In response, chimpanzees rely on coordination, tactics, and calculated violence, turning each encounter into an unpredictable confrontation. Retreat is rarely an option. Here, defeat means losing status or vanishing entirely. This is the battle for supremacy in the Emerald Wilderness, a world where power is never inherited, only earned. Every moment shapes the balance of rule, deciding who commands the forest and who fades into its depths. The gelada is the only baboon species found exclusively in Ethiopia. Locally, they are known as the red-chested monkeys, a striking feature that reflects both vitality and authority. Within their society, politics shapes every interaction. Temporary alliances are formed each day, while subtle maneuvers and carefully timed challenges unfold beneath the surface. Tariq is the dominant male who has ruled the southern grasslands for 3 rainy seasons. But now, a young challenger named Kano, just 5 years old, has begun to watch him differently. Kano is agile, strong, and in peak condition. Yet in gelada society, leadership is not claimed by strength alone. It must be supported by the females. Without their loyalty, even the most powerful male loses everything. That support is beginning to fade for Tariq. The scars etched across his face tell the story of a reign enforced through force. Meanwhile, Kano advances quietly, building his strategy with patience. Among geladas, grooming is more than a social ritual. It is a form of political currency, and day by day, Kano gathers support. Authority sustained only by aggression creates hollow obedience. Fear can impose order instantly, but trust, once broken, may never return. For Kano, this is the moment he has long awaited, the rise of a new ruler. Yet victory does not bring peace. A leader must constantly defend his position against external threats. Young, solitary males who remain ever watchful. The true challenge of leadership has only just begun. Zelda's gaze follows the silhouette of a lone male on the horizon, a signal no female can ignore. Kano realizes then that his control is not yet absolute. Female loyalty is not symbolic. It is essential for survival. Pregnant females, especially, must place their trust in the new leader to ensure the safety of their future offspring. A female alliance takes shape. The response is unmistakable. A subtle gesture, a lifted lip, and the message is delivered. Once again, Kano holds his position at the top, but within the group, one truth is clear: this will not be the final confrontation. What do you think of this endless cycle of power? Will Kano one day follow the same path as a tyrant, gradually becoming another Tariq? In another forested region of Central Africa, within Kabale National Park, in the heart of Uganda, a very different story unfolds. This landscape is home to more than 1,000 chimpanzees and is considered one of the most socially complex environments in the animal kingdom. Their communities can include hundreds of individuals, shaped by strict hierarchies, shifting alliances, and constant tension, a miniature reflection of human society. Each day in the valley seems to follow an unspoken script. The Canyon Tail group is the most well-known. For years, their alpha male, Koba, was both feared and respected. No challenger had dared to confront him for 3 consecutive years. Chimpanzees share nearly 99% of their DNA with humans, and like us, they remember past conflicts, hold grudges, and rarely remain loyal forever. Cobra's dominance was beginning to weaken, and a new contender was quietly emerging. That contender was Machina. The Canyon-tail community operates under a fission-fusion system, and when pressure builds, fractures inevitably appear. At the center of this shift stands Kalonzo Cobra's closest ally, who had also begun to question his allegiance. Then, the forest seemed to pause. For the first time in 3 years, another male stepped forward and claimed leadership. High above, among the green canopy, a group of red colobus monkeys leapt from branch to branch. Swift, light, and alert, they had no awareness that the balance of power below had just changed. Cobra hunted colobus with raw force. Machina, by contrast, relied on timing, coordination, and restraint. This was the moment he had been waiting for. The hunt ended as the sun stood high above the trees. But in Kibali's jungle, authority always comes paired with danger. When Kalonzo rose to patrol the western edge of the territory, he encountered what chimpanzees fear most. The warning came first through scent, a sharp blend of dry earth, sour sweat, and broken bark. Baboons. From the Ethiopian highlands to the depths of Central African forests, power among primates takes many forms. Yet every leader shares the same fate. Written from the beginning, authority is born from conflict and inevitably ends in isolation. Which struggle for survival left the strongest impression on you? On the African savanna, some encounters capture the raw essence of the wild itself. Among them, few are as intense as the confrontation between lion and buffalo. On one side stands Africa's most iconic predator, a skilled hunter at the top of the food chain. On the other, a massive herbivore whose sheer strength can reverse roles in seconds, turning the hunter into the hunted. The lion's dominance is not built on strength alone, but on social cooperation. Unlike solitary big cats, lions rely on teamwork to challenge opponents of immense size. The lionesses lead the hunt swift, methodical, and precise. They glide through the tall grass like golden shadows, nearly invisible. Every movement is calculated, every step part of a carefully timed strategy. Their target is clear: the African buffalo, a giant that can weigh over 900 kilograms. But taking on a buffalo is nothing like hunting a zebra. It is a high-risk gamble with potentially fatal consequences. The moment the herd detects the lions, the savanna transforms from a peaceful plain into a battlefield. Hooves thunder against the ground. Instead of scattering, the buffalo respond with remarkable discipline, encircling their young, forming a solid front, and lowering their heads in unison, becoming a living wall. A single countercharge can change everything. A buffalo's impact is powerful enough to hurl a full-grown lion into the air, shatter ribs, or inflict lethal injuries. Their horns are more than defensive tools. They tell the story of survival. In mature males, the thickened base of the horns, known as the boss, fuses into a hardened shield, almost impenetrable. More unsettling still is their memory. Buffalo are known to recognize threats and hold grudges. There are documented cases of entire herds returning days later to track and attack the same lions that once stalked them. This is not mere defense. It is retaliation. For a lion, a serious injury means far more than pain. It often marks the beginning of the end. A weakened hunter cannot keep pace, cannot hunt, and ultimately cannot survive. Yet the pride presses on. Hunger leaves no room for caution. A buffalo is a prize of immense value, capable of sustaining the entire group for days. The clash between lion and buffalo rarely produces a clear victor. More often, it ends in a brutal stalemate. And yet, there are moments when feline strategy prevails. When patience and cooperation align in a flawless ambush, the plan succeeds. The lion may be called king, but before the buffalo, even a monarch must bow to the unpredictable force of nature. Farther south, among the open woodlands of the Serengeti, a new rule begins to take hold. This time, it is not enforced by geladas or chimpanzees, but by creatures living along the fragile boundary between savanna and scrubland. This is the Serengeti woodlands, a vital ecological transition zone in East Africa. During the rainy season, the vast plains of the Serengeti are transformed into a vibrant green landscape. Daytime temperatures often rise to around 27 degrees Celsius, while nights cool to a more comfortable 15 degrees. The heaviest rains fall between March and May, preceded by shorter, lighter showers from November to December. With the arrival of water comes dramatic change. Temporary streams and shallow pools emerge across the land, reflecting sunlight like scattered mirrors. These new water sources draw large numbers of herbivores, and where prey gathers, predators are never far behind, using dense vegetation and thick brush as cover. In this environment, the Nile crocodile becomes one of the region's most elusive hunters. Heavy rains fill natural depressions along the Grumeti River and its tributaries, forming deep pools. Here, crocodiles can remain concealed for weeks at a time, submerged in murky water with only their eyes and nostrils exposed, living traps waiting to be triggered. They leave the water only to hunt or to bask on sandy banks. The jaws of the Nile crocodile contain between 64 and 68 sharp, conical teeth, designed not to tear flesh, but to grip with relentless force. Its bite can reach up to 22,000 newtons, powerful enough to crush the bones of an antelope or even a wild buffalo. The infamous death roll seals the victim's fate. Adding to its lethality is another remarkable trait: an exceptional tolerance for starvation. An adult crocodile can survive for months without feeding, thanks to an extremely slow metabolism and the ability to store energy from large previous meals. This adaptation allows the crocodile to wait patiently for weeks on end, losing none of its deadly efficiency. The open woodland echoes with deep, commanding sounds. As the African savanna elephant advances through the herds like a living tank, slow, deliberate, and unstoppable. Each step flattens fresh grass and low vegetation, wet mud clinging to its skin as branches snap and pathways open in its wake. Yet the African elephant never truly moves alone. Above its broad back, flashes of white drift like moving satellites. These are cattle egrets, small pale birds that follow closely, almost like wings of the savannah. With every step the elephant takes, insects burst from the grass, and the birds seize each opportunity. Even closer is the red-billed oxpecker, sharp-eyed, focused, inspecting every fold of skin for ticks. Sometimes clinging to open wounds to feed. This is an imperfect symbiosis. Recent studies show that more than 70% of elephants regularly host these birds. A relationship that intensifies during the rainy season, when parasites multiply rapidly. The elephant's body itself is equipped with powerful tools for survival. Its massive ears play a critical role in temperature regulation. By lifting and spreading them, elephants redirect large volumes of blood to the ear surface, releasing excess heat like biological cooling fans. Their gray, wrinkled skin is covered in tiny cracks that trap water and mud. As it evaporates, a natural cooling system forms, shielding the animal from extreme heat. While these adaptations stabilize body temperature, the elephant's true strength lies in its trunk, a multifunctional tool without equal. With it, an elephant can draw in water to drink, spray it across its body to cool down, or dig into dry riverbeds to reach underground reserves. These improvised wells soon become essential sources of water and relief for countless other species. The trunk is also a channel of communication. A lower-ranking individual may gently touch the mouth of a dominant one as a sign of respect, while a mother uses soft contact to reassure her calf. During the rainy season, feeding follows a simple rule: maximize nutrition by tracking the green wave of new plant growth. An adult elephant can consume up to 150 kilograms of vegetation per day and drink between 180 and 230 liters of water when conditions allow. Herds prefer areas with young grasses and reliable water access, which is why, during the wet season, they gather in low-lying zones near streams, pools, and forest edges. The rains also signal the beginning of the reproductive cycle. Females enter estrus more readily when food is abundant. Males in moth separate from the group, traveling long distances in search of receptive females, increasing the chance of mating. Field observations show that this state occurs more frequently during the rainy season among savanna populations, when conditions for reproduction are at their peak. As evening settles in, the herd leaves the mudbank behind, marking the ground with thick footprints, broken bark, and shallow pools that will soon fade. In the dim light, freshly sprouted grasses begin to spread. This newly reshaped habitat will sustain other species in the days to come. With every step taken by the African savanna elephants, the open woodland is quietly renewed. In the distance, Under the calm of nightfall, a Nile crocodile slowly emerges, allowing the chain of natural interactions to continue uninterrupted. As elephants move on, leaving open clearings, separated canopies, and broken branches along their paths, the Maasai giraffe approaches in silence. It does not need to fell trees. Its towering height is enough to reach the highest branches. At this moment, Maasai giraffes resemble living cranes, drifting slowly among acacia trees, heavy with new leaves. They are the tallest giraffe subspecies and the tallest land animals on Earth. An adult can reach heights of up to 5.9 meters, with the neck alone accounting for nearly half of that length. This unique anatomy grants access to treetops beyond the reach of almost all other herbivores. During the rainy season, when acacias are rich with tender foliage, Maasai giraffes feed from the canopy downward. This feeding pattern helps keep treetops open, allowing sunlight to reach the understory and encouraging the growth of grasses and low vegetation, a balance essential to open woodland ecosystems. Yet this great height becomes a disadvantage when it is time to drink. To lower their heads, giraffes must spread their front legs wide or bend their knees, adopting a highly vulnerable posture. In these moments, they are exposed to predators such as lions and leopards. As a result, giraffes tend to choose water sources that are open and offer clear visibility. They drink quickly, only a few seconds at a time, then lift their heads immediately to scan the surroundings. A common behavior during the rainy season is the formation of temporary social groups known as towers. These gatherings may include individuals of different ages and sexes, loosely assembled around fresh vegetation or water sources. Although these groups lack a strict hierarchy, they provide clear benefits. More alert eyes reduce the risk of surprise attacks. Since 2019, the Maasai giraffe has been classified as endangered by the IUCN. Over the past 3 decades, its population has declined by nearly 50%, dropping from around 70,000 individuals to approximately 32,000 remaining in the wild by 2024. The primary threats driving this decline include habitat loss and fragmentation, illegal hunting for meat, and traditional uses of body parts, and increasing competition for land as human populations expand. High in the branches of an acacia, a subtle movement stirs the lower limbs. A vervet monkey alert and agile leaps from branch to branch, leaving behind short, broken calls that drift through the open woodland like scattered warnings. The vervet monkey has a modest yet unmistakable appearance. Its soft, silver-gray fur contrasts sharply with a black face and dark eyes that shine like polished coal. A long tail maintains perfect balance as it moves skillfully among the upper branches. One defining feature, essential for identification, is the bluish patch on the abdomen of adult males, a visual signal used in social communication. They are true opportunists of the animal world. During the rainy season, their diet becomes remarkably varied, including ripe fruits, seeds, insects, and tender leaves. Their ability to forage both in trees and on the ground allows them to take full advantage of the short-lived abundance brought by the wet season. Survival depends on coordination within small groups. While some individuals feed, others remain on constant watch. At the first sign of danger, whether the outline of a leopard among the branches or the wing beats of an African eagle overhead, a sharp alarm call is released. This sound not only alerts the group, but also serves as a warning to nearby species. Vervet monkeys are also capable of recognizing and producing distinct alarm calls for different predators. They live in bands with a well-defined social structure, where dominant individuals help guide movement and reinforce collective defense. The rainy season also marks a period of territorial expansion. Groups venture into new canopies and damp ground, rich in food but filled with risk, where every leap and every call can mean the difference between survival and loss. On the ground below, the black-backed jackal moves with calm precision. Its coat blends silver gray and reddish-brown tones, marked by a dark stripe running along its spine. Upright ears and alert eyes act like living sensors, detecting even the faintest movement in the surrounding grass. Weighing between 6 and 13 kilograms, it is not a large animal, yet it is remarkably agile and intelligent. Its slender build is not a limitation, but an advantage, allowing it to slip effortlessly through low grass and dense shrubs. The black-backed jackal is a highly adaptable hunter, capable of hunting alone or in pairs depending on the opportunity. During the rainy season, its diet becomes especially varied as life across the savanna resurges. Insects stirring beneath fallen leaves, fledgling birds taking their first flights, rodents hidden in the brush, and swift hares all become potential prey. Waterholes are key locations, places where patience is often rewarded as birds and mammals gather to drink. When the scent of a large carcass drifts through the rain-soaked air, the jackal's senses guide it unerringly. Its exceptionally sharp sense of smell allows it to detect carrion from more than 2 kilometers away, ensuring that no feeding opportunity is overlooked, even when only remnants remain. Black-backed jackals form strong, long-term pair bonds. A male and female often remain together for life, hunting cooperatively and raising their young as a coordinated team. Births usually occur during the rainy season, when food is abundant and conditions favor pup survival. During this time, the partner plays a key role in guarding and defending the family. When necessary, both adults release powerful howls that serve a dual-purpose warning potential rivals and marking territorial boundaries. The black-backed jackal plays a vital role in open savanna ecosystems. Acting as a quiet custodian, it removes carrion and helps regulate rodent populations, reducing the spread of disease. Recent studies in East Africa suggest that savanna regions with high jackal presence experience faster decomposition of animal remains and a lower abundance of scavenging insects such as flies. This process contributes significantly to ecological balance and the natural sanitation of the environment. Once again, eyes turn upward, no longer searching for the agile shapes of monkeys, but for a small point of vivid color suspended in the sky. Beneath the rain-washed air, the lilac-breasted roller glides like a living fragment of the rainbow. Its plumage blends shades of lilac, turquoise, and green, softened by a rosy wash across the chest. Measuring only about 36 centimeters in length, its flight is instantly recognizable. In midair, it performs dramatic aerial displays, rolls, dives, and sharp turns movements that serve both to secure prey and to attract mates during the breeding season, which often coincides with the rains. Rainfall awakens the insect world. Grasshoppers and beetles emerge from hiding, scatter beneath damp leaves, or leap through wet grasslands. This is the roller's moment. From a low perch, it launches with precise timing, snatching insects disturbed by the passing storms. The lilac-breasted roller is not a species that gathers in large flocks. Most often, it lives in pairs and occupies compact territories, sometimes defined by a cluster of tall trees overlooking open grassy clearings. Within this space, the birds hunt, observe, and defend their domain with a harsh yet commanding call, a sound that claims the sky as their own. This chapter of African wildlife now draws to a close, where the confrontation between baboons and chimpanzees reveals an unyielding truth. Survival is not determined by strength alone, but by intelligence, unity, and the ability to adapt in a world that offers no second chances. These struggles are not merely about territory or dominance. They are about the right to exist in an unforgiving environment where mistakes carry a heavy cost. Beyond this conflict, the savannas, jungles, and forests of Africa pulse with countless similar stories. Every species, predator and prey alike, lives under the same ancient rule: move forward, endure, and survive one more day. Here, danger never rests, and life persists amid scarcity, competition, and the tense silence that precedes every encounter. Wild Africa is both harsh and breathtaking. Its severity preserves a natural balance that has endured for millennia. reminding us that every creature plays an essential role in this intricate web of life. When one falls, another rises. When one struggles, all sustain the rhythm of nature. On this untamed continent, survival is not a privilege, it is a daily conquest. And as the sun sinks behind the red earth, we come to understand that these battles are not simply moments of conflict, but powerful testimonies of resilience, instinct, and the unbreakable will to live in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. If this story moved you and deepened your appreciation for the beauty and resilience of the wild, we invite you to like the video and subscribe to Hidden Planet TV for more journeys into the heart of nature.